Hi, my name is Michael Helfand, and today I'd like to talk to you about the concept of no harm, no foul. You've probably heard the concept before, popular in basketball, but I'd like to take a little bit of a different approach today and ask the following question. Does United States law embrace the idea of no harm, no foul? And so in part one of this four-part video series, I'm going to take you through the background of whether or not no harm, no foul is a legal concept. Does it really apply? You're trying to probably figure out right now, what do I mean? So consider the following scenario. Imagine you're sitting in a library, studying, and you try to get on the internet to check something. But all of a sudden you notice that your computer doesn't have internet access. You can't get onto the library's wireless network. At the same time, though, you do notice there's another wireless network available. It's not yours. You don't know who it belongs to, but it belongs to somebody else, and you figure, why not jump on that network, search the internet for a bit, get what you need, and then jump right off. The person who owns the wireless network surely isn't going to lose anything. Put again in the title of our discussion, can't we just say under these circumstances, no harm, no foul? You used their internet, you got off of it, you got what you needed. Surely that's okay, right? Or consider the following scenario. Imagine you're sitting at a baseball game. You're sitting a little bit further back, enjoying the sun, watching a good game, and you notice there are some better seats down front available. Nobody's sitting in them. It's the seventh inning, and you see those blue seats kind of further up. And you say to yourself, why don't I just go down and take one of those better seats? I didn't pay for it, but there's no harm to the stadium, to the team. They couldn't sell the seat. Nobody's going to use it anyway. Can't we just say in this type of scenario, no harm, no foul? The baseball team didn't lose anything. Let me just use the better seat. Why should I have to pay for it? Now, when we think about potential responses from either somebody who's got a wireless network or a baseball team with an open seat, they might say, no, no, no. You got something from me. You benefited from something that I own. You should pay me for it. What kind of things trigger that type of responsibility? Under what circumstances does United States law typically say, you know what, you should have to pay somebody for something that you used? Well, one type of scenario is a contract. Imagine I'd like to get something from you. I want you to mow my lawn or do some sort of job for me. And so the two of us sign an agreement, a contract. Or, to put in a better definition, a contract is a written or spoken agreement that is intended to be enforceable by law. Well, this is one way that you might be responsible to pay for something. You might be responsible to pay somebody for something they gave you. You agreed to it in advance. Well, that doesn't seem to apply in the situations we're talking about. You didn't have an agreement about the internet you were going to use from the wireless network. You didn't agree to pay for the better seat. It was just open or available. So contract can't explain why you might be responsible to pay either for network usage or alternatively for an open baseball seat. But contract's not the only thing that imposes a responsibility on us to pay money to others. Sometimes I have to pay money not because of something I've agreed to, but because of something I've done, like punched you in the face. Think about this as a category we call torts. A wrongful act, not including a breach of contract, that results in injury to another's person, property, reputation, or the like, and for which the injured party is entitled to compensation. Again, punching you in the face, trespassing on your property, damaging your objects, your items. In all those scenarios, I pay you not because we had an agreement, but because I have damaged you. Well, this doesn't seem like a good category for the cases we're discussing either. When I go on the internet, use your wireless network, I don't really damage you, do I? I mean, maybe I take a little bit of your bandwidth. But that doesn't seem like damaging you. Or when I use an open seat in a baseball stadium, I'm not damaging you. You couldn't sell the seat. I'm just using a seat that's available. There's no damage to the baseball team. So this can't provide a good reason why somebody should have to pay either for using the internet or for using an open baseball seat. So if we've got kind of two broad categories under American law for why I have to pay somebody some amount of money, On the one hand, contract, and on the other hand, tort. Neither of them seem to apply. Is there any concept in the middle that might better apply to the scenario that we're talking about here? Well, there is such a concept, or actually a pair of concepts: unjust enrichment and restitution. These two concepts actually are the ones that apply to the situation we're talking about. You're probably, of course, wondering what these concepts mean. So let me give you kind of a phrase or a way to think about them. Here's what I'm getting at. If a person is unjustly enriched at the expense of someone else, he must restore that person's property. That is, he must make restitution. This is kind of a statement of United States law on the topic of unjust enrichment. If somebody is unjustly enriched, he has an obligation, a legal responsibility, to restore that other person's property, what we refer to as make restitution. This is a concept that fits in between contract, there's no agreement, and in between tort, there's no actual damage, but there's a concept that when I am unjustly enriched, I have to restore that person's property. Of course, this raises some important questions. How do I know if I'm unjustly enriched? Maybe I'm just enriched. How do I know when certain types of enrichment are unjust? And also, what on earth does it mean to restore a person's property? How do I restore it? What exactly does the law expect me to pay? I look forward to exploring these questions with you in the next installment of